Welcome to the Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brian.
I mean, at least when they turned Akeem black, they had a backstory for it. They brought out the big ghetto blaster radio and the Bush people. And folks, that sounds racist. That's literally what they called them all in the video.
Fact. It is true. The early 90s was wild.
Yeah,
seriously.
Very.
I was talking to my buddy last night about stuff like that, how wrestling has had a pass from the cancel culture stuff. Because if you look at all like the old WWF stuff with like Akeem, Saba Simba, Kamala, stuff that like
the Mexican
Piper used to say, my goodness, that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
What about Jesse
Chico Santana?
I kept calling him Chico all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but yet they've gotten a pass.
Also, too, like you just put on something on, I'm sure this would be for NWA, WCW, whatever, but like put on the WWE network, and I put on Superstars like a month or two ago, and like Vince was they had these like kids come in and just kind of introduce a match, and some little girl was doing like horribly, and like on the commentary, they were just bashing this like 9-year-old girl. Well, like basically should have said like that she was like retarded or something like that. Like it was that over the top. Like that's the only word they didn't use almost.
Right.
But it was just like I was just like, wow, I couldn't believe it. But even something as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've seen worse get called out. I mean, less. I mean, you know what I mean? I shouldn't say that.
Like I said, I know I brought this up before. It's there's that picture going around with Roddy Piper, and behind it there's a big sign it's literally like a 6-foot long sign that just says Roddy Piper has AIDS, and it's like, whoa, and that's. Like
meanwhile, that fan last week got kicked out of the AEW show.
I was just gonna say that
for the Nyla Rose sign. Like, what did it say? Like this guy's got a dick or something?
No, it's
Nyla Rose.
Nyla's this guy's dad.
Oh,
and she flipped them off, and then like 10 minutes later, they were gone.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that, Tom, you were at that show. You brought
your sign. My sign would have been far worse.
You wouldn't have been let in the building.
Yeah, like not.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Like, I mean, even think about it. Like, when that whole Bubba Ray Dudley Ring of Honor thing happened, where the dude was calling his girlfriend like names or whatever because she was a heel.
Yeah.
And then he came out and was like, "Oh, come with me," and like he secretly beat the piss out of him or something in the back room, and then like let him go back to go be a fan.
Yeah, he basically was being tough guy Bully Ray in the back. Everyone behind him.
So it's wild how I mean, even look at the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, the heel could grab someone's like a kid's sign, rip it up right in front of their face. Mm-hmm. And now you can't do that. Now, like, it'll hurt someone's feelings. And
the only one that did was MJF.
Vince McMahon called Booker T the N-word.
Mm-hmm. He did.
In middle of a promo.
Yep. Actually, he called John Cena the N-word, but Booker T just happened to be standing right next to him.
And if I recall, there was a hard R on that. That wasn't the A.
I'm sure there was.
That's
sure
that
there
had the
was.
sounds of a man who's used that word quite often in his personal life. He was familiar with it, comfortable. There was no
Very
qualms
comfortable.
whatsoever.
Very comfortable. There was a clip I saw a couple recently on it was like a episode of Raw. It was like when Goldust was being like the weird Goldust,
Mhm.
and Jerry Lawler's like, oh, you know, he had to wrestle Jerry Lawler. I think it was maybe like a King of the Ring or something. I forget why. And it was basically like, you know, like your dad disowned you because you're running around here like a flaming F word and I was just like,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
USA TV, national
Mhm.
television,
Mhm.
dropping F bomb. I was like, whoa, like
Yeah.
it's just
Mhm.
you couldn't get away with that now.
Now things have changed.
Oh yeah. And I'm not saying it's, you know, that they changed for the worse, like, but
Sure.
you know what I mean. But it's like it's wild how just one extreme, you know, all the way to the, you know,
Oh yeah.
it's like wrestlers have feelings now.
It just amazes me though that they've been unscathed. Everything else, everybody else is looking into everyone's past to try to dig up something that they said or did 20 years ago when somebody was like 13. They dropped the N-bomb on Twitter. That's what everyone's looking at. And you literally can just go on to Peacock and you can find like 7 or 8 things within a 2-minute period that you could find offensive and racist and whatever. And they just go on unscathed. And I'm not saying I want them to be held to that scrutiny. Believe me, I do not want that whatsoever. That's
what
not
about
what I'm saying. I just think it's funny that they, you know.
Do you remember when DX trashed the Nation of Dominations?
Oh my God, yes. They came on blackface.
No, they blamed it on Team Canada or the Heart Foundation, and like they wrote like KFC all over the wall.
Right? Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wow. It's
And when somebody says it on social media now, Peacock goes in there and edits it out.
Yeah. I was thinking of when DX came out as the Nation and they're in blackface.
Was
Mizark.
That's already been taken off the network.
Oh, it's one of the best segments ever.
That was one of the edits they made before they even put it up there.
Little known trivia about my life for that segment. I was at my ex-girlfriend's house. Brian, you remember Sarah. I was at her house. She wanted to take a dip in her pool, her above ground pool in the backyard, and get a little action in. And I was like, no, I want to watch this segment. I'm still comfortable with my choice.
All worked out in the end.
Good thing you did, because now you can't watch it on Peacock.
Yeah,
exactly. See,
I
saw it live
from here.
Now you wouldn't have to reminisce from what we've said.
Exactly. Sex in an above ground pool stinks.
If it was an in-ground pool,
different story. Oh, way different story. Less likely to knock the pool over.
Anybody watch what was it? Dark this week? They had the podcast favorite Joey Janela versus Sonny Kiss in a no DQ.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I saw the finish though. They put the clip up there. That was a pretty brutal pile driver through the table.
It's funny. I can't believe
that's how they finished their feud on Dark.
Right.
They had a program that was actually happening.
Yep, on Dark.
God bless them.
I think they had 3 matches. This one was, what was it, an I Quit match or something?
Something like that.
Or no holds barred or no rules or something like that. I don't remember what they called it.
And they it's funny because it was, I don't think Sonny Kiss won any match out of that.
He won the middle match. He won the middle match, yeah. Yeah, that Kayla Rossi tried to interfere and she hit Janela, and so Sonny rolled him up. And then they had this match like a month and a half later.
Before we get into the year-end awards here.
Sure.
I said it last night in the chat. I really, really, really want to like Brian Pillman Jr. I really do.
I think
His mic skills are god awful.
Bad, yeah.
And he's getting fat. But that's whatever. That's just being ticky tack about that. But his mic skills are god awful.
Yep.
Mic skills are terrible, but also he's like
sloppy.
He needs to shut up.
Yeah.
Like especially on like social media and stuff.
Yes.
He's
Talks
not
too
doing
much.
himself any favors. Especially with the whole the sweatshirt debacle from like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know.
I just, man, that acorn fell way far from the tree.
It's wild. It's unreal, like how it's not even close.
I mean, he kind of looks like his dad, and that's where the comparisons stop.
Yeah.
Really is.
He got the skills from his mom.
Because like you're not like he has no
charisma.
And I think he's been a pro for 5 or 6 years now, and he's already plateaued.
Right.
He's been a pro as long as MJF has.
Yep.
Like I said, there was the MJF match, and that was good, but I'm sure most of that was because of MJF.
Oh yeah.
And
did you just compliment MJF?
I did.
Wow.
He still.
There you go.
I mean,
he even complimented Fuego a couple weeks ago. Remember?
I did.
Oh my goodness.
Never Marco Stunt or Joey Janela.
Nope. But and then he had? What was it? One of the Acclaimed, right? I think he wrestled Max Caster.
Yeah,
the week after he lost to MJF. They put him against Max Caster to get his win back.
Yeah.
And then that match sucked a whole bunch and was like in slow motion. And then he was gone from TV for pretty much until like a few weeks ago when they started doing
Julia
the stuff with Julia.
Right.
Was that the match, or didn't he have one against Mox?
No, that was that match. That was the match against Caster, and then Mox came out to make the save.
And he just looked
they were in
pudgy. Yeah, he was pudgy, slow,
way
and
out of breath.
sloppy.
Blown up.
Had zero cardio going for him. He looked awful.
Yeah, because he's a tag guy and he lets the other guy do most of the work. Griff Garrison isn't the best, but he carried that team.
I mean, I don't know what the plan is for Black. I'm sure it's to start to introduce the rest of the House of Black, but man.
Well, I think they couldn't do Brody King until after the new year because his contract was up tomorrow, actually, through Ring of Honor.
The ROH.
He never asked for his release early. So I think that was just they were planning on doing it after the new year.
He's just frustrating to watch because
they have to do something with him fighting Pillman this week. It's just something has to happen. They just can't have him keep fighting him and nothing else happens.
When Pillman
they bring out Julia.
They could.
Oh yeah.
They'll bring out Julia as a minion or
something to me, with Griff.
I mean, I feel like if they're turning Julia to be in his group, I just don't know why they don't go with Abaddon already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, it's probably, I could see it being like almost like an Alexa Bliss kind of thing, where it was like, remember Alexa was like when she first started NXT, it was basically Julia Hart's gimmick.
And
then, I mean, there was the Blake and Murphy, she turned into like a bad girl or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're pretty much going from Alexa Bliss's first gimmick to the last time you saw her on television.
Yep.
In the span of 3 weeks by getting spit in your face.
Yeah, is she ever coming back?
That's a good question. That's a great question.
Yeah.
I mean, she like tweets and stuff being like, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Every now and again she pops up on social media, but she's not as active as she used to be, which is good because her social media became nothing but her and whatever that guy's name is, like constantly. Like, we get it, you're in love.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, but that's the other thing too, though. Like, when she does post, she's just posting. Like, it's not like, well, WWE sucks. You know what I mean? It's like, well, they haven't used me in this long or whatever. It's just she's just like, hey guys, I'm still around.
Yep.
No
Don't forget about
plans
me.
still.
Yeah, it's weird what they're just doing with a lot of their women right now. Speaking of women,
Part I had was the NostraTOmus.
Oh,
predictions.
yes.
If you had any predictions for 2022 for us.
I have a few. I didn't realize, by the way, when I just did that impersonation, how close I was to really screwing up my laptop and everything. It's like wires where they shouldn't be now. One was attached to my foot.
No.
So I can see Rampage moving to Saturday nights at some point by the middle of the year.
6:05 or 8:05?
8:05.
Mm-hmm.
8:05.
2 hours?
I think it's got to, and I think it's going to go live.
It has to, yeah.
It won't initially, but it will be by June or July. It's going to go live. It has to. They need to do
I agree. Yeah.
But I think they're going to switch to Saturdays as well.
Saturday was great for them this past week.
And that's why I think it's going to.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just makes sense. I think it's a better night for wrestling.
Well, you don't kill everybody for the Wednesday tapings anymore with all the 5 hours of taping that they have to do now.
No, definitely.
So it'll help both times, not just shorten the show, but won't burn out the audience either.
And you can feature more people.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I think that what I can see here is that the WWE is going to offer Paul Heyman a ridiculous amount of money because I personally believe he is the one person that could ultimately end whatever war there is, and there isn't, but he could really put AEW over the top with his mind for the business.
Mm-hmm.
So to prevent him from leaving, they are going to offer him this back up the Brinks truck to his house.
Is his contract up soon?
I thought it was.
Okay. I really don't have any idea. That's why I was curious.
I thought he only had about 6 or 7 months left on it.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. But either way,
yeah.
I can see them just offering him the world just because I think he is just that valuable for a place like AEW.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had a couple.
Do you think he would go? Do you think he'd go to AEW?
I've always seen AEW like ECW was, but if ECW had a money guy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's kind of appealing. If you're
a
Paul Heyman, I don't know where he is in his career, in his mindset, if he wants to develop something like that again, or if he's content just kind of doing what he's doing. But as a creative,
he has a lot of creative control on the Roman Reigns and the Brock Lesnar stuff. Like he's really in it and gets involved in that.
But beyond that, I mean, they've stripped him from everything else. I just think that, as a creative person myself, and I see where they are, I would want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his brain would completely put them over the top.
Sure. I could see that.
Without a doubt would.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. I mean, the obvious ones of, Bray Wyatt finally showing up somewhere.
Sure. He'd have to eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's going to be more releases, obviously, leading up to WrestleMania and then after WrestleMania.
It's going to be more. Yeah.
I think we're going to get a couple of names that are going to be shocking, and we're going to get to a point where we need a third major professional wrestling organization. I do not count TNA as a major wrestling promotion. Sorry, JL.
Not yet. Not right now.
No.
It would be kind of. I would definitely. I would love to see who would step up. You know what I mean? If there really is a need for a third major wrestling promotion, do you think it could be like GCW where they get so big that they get put on TV or something like that, or do you think it's going to be something that's like AEW Blueprint where it's ground
Just a
up,
brand new promotion.
brand new? This is.
I mean, AEW proved you can make it work, but I think you need something, that's already kind of established too. I think you just need somebody. You need a money man. That's the key.
Yes.
You
right.
need somebody
money.
who's connected to networks. Obviously, the cons already were. You need somebody who's got money and someone who's got the ability to take you to the next level. Kind of like how Craig thought that Bob was that guy. But you need someone who's you need somebody who's legit that guy.
F. Craig.
You didn't have to edit yourself.
My my thing is because we had, what was it, Mark Cuban, he had it was Mav TV, and then it was Access TV or whatever it was. And
there was something about
HDNet
originally. Right?
Yeah, it was first it was Mav TV, then it was HDNet,
right.
then it was Access TV.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you had Ring of Honor on there, you have even now you have Impact on there, you had New Japan, and I feel like New Japan being on Access TV definitely helped them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It was definitely a very, because I know that's before New Japan World. That's where I was getting all my
right.
New Japan stuff. I mean, it was 6 to 8 months behind, but it was still
right.
Oh, this is great. I get to watch this on US TV.
Exactly.
So Mark Cuban is a money man, but it's like, do you need somebody like Tony Khan's a money man, but he also I guess it's like a perfect storm where he's a huge wrestling fan. You know what I mean? He's not just like, oh, Stone Cold was the best, I love wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, this dude's like, oh, remember 1982?
Yeah, he's an idiot savant.
Crazy,
he knows everything that ever happened in wrestling's history, it seems.
So it's like to have somebody like that be the money man. Is that just, it's I mean, it's kind of like Vince. Vince was wrestling in his blood,
right?
He was also the money man. So it's like, is there someone else out there that could, I mean, do you, if you're Billy Corgan, do you try to get the, like a money man behind the NWA? Like, do you reach back out to like a Mark Cuban or I don't know who else is
I'm not sure,
that stupid rich that they could just be like, you know what, I'm going to start a wrestling company.
Good question.
I do have a NostraTOmus, a real one.
Oh, okay.
I realized that my NostraTOmus was kind of underwhelming, so here's a real one. So cue whatever music you got. I'm ready.
I'll find something for you. Go ahead.
All right. In the year 2022, Vincent Kennedy McMahon will shuffle off this mortal coil.
Wow.
Leaving the WWE in a state of absolute chaos and flux.
Wow.
The will obviously not have anything to do with Steph or Shane or Trips. So leaving the WWE in a state of unknown, a new person needs to step in to purchase its commodities in order to keep it going. And if you can smell what he's cooking, The Rock will own the World Wrestling World Wrestling Entertainment and partner with Disney to create a whole new segment of Disney World in Florida, including a physical Hall of Fame, a live studio, and ride. That's my call right there.
Well, The Rock has the money to do it.
Sure does. And he's grew up with Nick Khan.
And Nick would probably be in charge of everything.
That would be pretty wild if that's what happened.
Vince McMahon will come out in the beginning of this WrestleMania, and he will look even more frail and feeble than he has in the last year or so.
I saw a picture
And-
the other day and it was real bad looking.
You think
Yeah.
he Ultimate Warriors it and just like he does WrestleMania and then the next day he's just dead? That's it.
I don't know if it's going to be the next day, but by Backlash, we will have seen a funeral.
Wow.
I might be a little bit too early. We might be around summertime, but that's what I'm thinking.
That is a NostraTOmus for sure.
We'll see how right I am on this.
That's a pretty rough one.
If this actually happens, holy.
We have to retire the segment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, remember I said something about Jericho going to Europe.
Yes, you
and he
did.
winds
And he
up
may
in
not
the
come home.
hospital.
Ugh.
What the hell?
Oh, that was one of the things I actually wanted to talk about too. I mean, it was really just nothing. It didn't really fit into the podcast anyway. But I thought the whole Jericho, like, it just seems like AEW has this thing where it's like the faces lose the main event, get beat up, and then random face returns to save the day.
Yep.
Like that formula happens a lot. And it's like, what is this setting up? Is this setting up a Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz verse like Garcia in 2.0? Is it setting up a Kingston versus Jericho feud?
That's what I think.
Yeah, I think Kingston versus Jericho, and I think
You heard what he was telling him, right? When he came out? What Kingston was telling Jericho.
The only thing I heard, it was just like these guys were my friends first. I've known them longer or something like that.
He was saying, I guess, what took you so long? All you did was care about your stupid ass music while one of your best friends was getting his ass kicked.
Oh, no, I didn't hear that. That's kind of cool.
He kind of said it off mic, but I guess if you heard it, you could hear him saying it.
Right.
So he was kind of basically saying all you cared about was your big return and a pop by the crowd. You didn't care that he got hurt. And he's my buddy, and I care about him before I care about any stupid music.
Right. I did find that funny that it was like, all right, because I sat there thinking, because like Garcia holding the hit, lining him up with the ring bell. I'm like, this seems like it's taken way too long.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what it was.
I thought the lights were going off when he was about to hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
I thought that's where they were going.
This will lead to the breakup of the Inner Circle because Santana Ortiz will go with Kingston.
And I would love that. That would
100%.
be, and it's. I mean, I know Brian's not the big fan of factions, but if there was ever a trios that I would love in AEW, it would be Santana Ortiz and Eddie Kingston.
Oh
Sure.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm good with trios. When you get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in a group, that's too many to me. Three, maybe 4 is fine.
Right. And you're looking like Dragon Gate, like 2008 Dragon Gate, which is like everybody's in a faction.
That's what it's like in Pro Wrestling Noah right now. There's like 10 factions and like one singles guy. It's just crazy.
But I mean, if it's an Eddie Kingston Chris Jericho feud, I hope it's to put Eddie over instead of put Jericho. You know what I mean? At this point, I don't. What else does Jericho need to do?
Yeah,
right. It has to be, yeah.
And Eddie's putting everybody over.
And that's the thing. Like, I just feel like he's putting everybody over, and we've talked about it before. He's one of those guys that no matter how many matches he loses, he always gets his heat back. He always, you know what I mean? He's always over with the crowd. He's always, like it's nobody gets like doesn't believe him. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he's always in the match.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes, okay, yeah, look, Eddie's definitely going to lose this, but people still, I mean, hell, people, there was a small chunk of people, me included, that was really thought Kingston might somehow beat CM Punk.
I thought it was possible.
You know what I mean?
So.
So I just hope it's, give Eddie his due, and you know what I mean? Like, I get it. He's one of the older guys on the roster. You know what I mean? Like, he's legit twice as old as Dante Martin at this point.
Yes.
But, at the same time, I would love to see him, whether it's the TNT title or, maybe even somehow he gets a world title for a couple months. I definitely think Eddie Kingston deserves it.
He should get it.
Yeah, something.
He's going to get one title this year. That'd be my prediction. That he's going to hold gold. Which gold, I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
You said you had it all.
Well, I did, but I didn't know I'd do the week. I had the year.
Go with what you know.
I'm trying to think. Okay, how about this? Brock Lesnar, our first WWE.
Wow.
Of the year.
Of the year.
This is the week.
Oh,
this is the week.
The week
okay.
first, yeah.
We're counting day one.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Wow, give us a reason why. I mean,
the reason why is because he is now top of the mountain for I don't know how many times, but he's the top of the mountain in the WWE. Once more, the WWE World Champion. He obviously was supposed to go up against Roman Reigns, who is now COVID, like many of us now. And we got to include the COVID statement from the beginning. Yep. And so I think the Juventud Wrestler of the Week has to go to our first ever WWE Raw superstar, Brock Lesnar.
Do you think Brock Lesnar will fight Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, or will they try to do the merging unification at WrestleMania? Some people have said
I think at Royal Rumble.
Really?
It'll be Bobby Lashley first, and it'll be Bobby Lashley versus Brock versus Roman.
At
unification.
At WrestleMania?
No, at Royal Rumble.
That's only a couple weeks out. That's pretty quick.
That's gonna be they did it the same way last time with the World and WWE.
Some people have been saying that like one of the reasons for the let goes of the people getting fired or let go or whatever is because they want to merge brands again and just have it be one set and just move forward with that.
I heard D1 was really a good show too.
I saw some of it. It was good from what I saw of it.
There you go. There's Russ's review of day one. It was really good.
Well, there were so many things that like they wanted it to be good, in the first place, and when they try, I mean, most of the time, they land the plane. Not
all the time,
right? But when they really want something to work, that's why like WrestleMania is always good at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes amazing, sometimes better than good, but it's always good because they just and I think also the fact that things had to be switched up and stuff also kind of had the wheels turning to being like, okay, we really have to put on a show.
And somehow they shifted the match. It was supposed to be half an hour and it only went 20 minutes somehow. I don't know how that happened. That's what they were reporting this morning. It was supposed to go a half an hour and somehow it only went 20 minutes. No one knew what happened.
It was so extreme, it was barely legal.
And I guess the finish to Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch, Becky was supposed to hold on to the ropes, but she was out of position for it, so she didn't. I guess that's why it looked kind of funny at the end.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I heard this just like, what do you do now with Liv Morgan now that she's
like put it all out there?
Yep,
it would be like if MJF doesn't beat CM Punk.
Yeah. Then
True.
what do you do with them next?
Mm-hmm.
Can't really do a lot.
Very true.
All right.
Who's your Juvi Wrestler of the Year?
Well, we should both do one.
Why? That's your award.
Yeah, it's your award. It's patent pending.
That's different than the Juvi's Wrestler of the Year award.
Well, I can do Wrestler of the Year. Matt Cardona. As I said, not surprising, one person. It's Matt Cardona for his reign in GCW, for his appearance in Impact Wrestling, for NWA. Yep. He's the guy to beat next year.
He even appeared in AEW, didn't he?
That was last year, I think, though. That was last summer.
Yeah. So he's been everywhere.
But since he left, he's been everywhere. Yep. And he got married.
And he just got married now he's doing the tap outs to Chelsea Green.
Right. Very true.
Well, that's what's crazy. All along, ever since like Z True Hollywood Story, like he's continued to figure it out, even if other people haven't figured it out.
And he just started his own toy brand.
Yep.
The Bendhams.
Right.
You don't know about that.
He's
just trust me on that.
He's ahead of the game.
Right.
Making more money now than he was in the WWE.
Does he go back to the WWE at all or ever?
No.
I don't see why would he? At least in the short term.
Yeah, why would he? I mean, if GCW takes off like an old ECW did, like they're trying to poison him. I mean, look at Jeff Jarrett's in it. Oh, that's who I should have chosen instead of.
Oh, for your Wrestler of the Week?
Wrestler of the Week was Jeff Jarrett.
Should we rewind it now?
Jeff Jarrett is my Wrestler of the Week.
Is he a co-Wrestler of the Week?